Hey everybody, welcome to another Quicksave Review with me, RC. A Quicksave Review, if you haven't seen it before, is basically a Let's Play mixed with a review with a game that I'm currently in the middle of. And I'm currently in the middle of Jump, Step, Step. And Jump, Step, Step is actually a pretty cool little game on the Switch here. I believe this is just a $5 budget title here. But what's cool is the game is all about programming your moves. So you play as this little robot guy here. I don't know if I've ever really caught his name. But basically, you're traversing this land while using the moves that you have on the left side there to program what he is going to do to pick up all these different parts for his spaceship. Now, while the game itself is really cool, I do have a few little bones to pick with it, which we will talk about in just a second here. But you can see how far I've actually come. So here's the spaceship that we discovered. Try to rotate. There we go. Oh, no, it's still not really rotating. The camera is weird in this game, which is one of the bones I have to pick with it, is that, like, you can rotate only so far with it in certain situations instead of getting a whole, you know, view of your surroundings and whatnot. That can be a little bit annoying. One of the other things, too, is the optimization, but we will talk about that after we actually show off the gameplay here. So here, we've just traversed all of this perilous stuff. Let's go ahead and program our guy to jump up and grab this part here. So it looks like from where we stand, and by the way, the weird circus music that plays in the background, I don't really get it. But here we are. You can see here, for example, if we, you actually control your moves over here with the D-pad, and you control the camera and everything with the left stick and the triggers. But if we were to hit forward a couple times, and then hit play, you can see he gets stuck, right? So he gets stuck, and what ends up happening is you need to rethink your approach here. So if you jump, he's going to skip a couple spaces here. So we'll set him, and of course, don't forget to delete the original. This is another game, like, this has been coming up so much lately. Another game where, like, the sound effects are so loud. There we go. That should be more manageable. The sound effects are so loud compared to the music. It's just like, I don't know how people are mixing their sound in their games nowadays, especially in these indie titles. Okay, so we hit jump, and we're going to have to jump again, and then we should be on the next platform, so we should be able to move forward, and then jump, and then move forward. So let's see how this goes. Let's hit play, jump, jump, move forward, boom, we got the piece. Standing on that special rock will make it rotate randomly. To combat this, Bob will now have a new check direction action. This action splits your program into 4 different branches, and based on which direction Bob is facing, the program will follow the corresponding branch. Use the right stick to move the program cursor. Alright, so I thought I had unlocked all the moves, but it looks like they're still introducing moves here. I'm about, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour into this game. Part of that was the learning curve, trying to figure out how this game actually comes together and how it works and stuff. Learning how all of this stuff works as well. You can actually program your bot to do the same thing over and over again by using this go to A thing. It's kind of cool. Like, you know, if you set your guy to go forward a couple times and then you set up this repeating process. So here's A, and then you have, let's say, for example, you want him to rotate, move forward, jump, and then you hit this one. And if you look in the bottom there, you can see our programming. He'll go forward twice. It'll initiate our A sequence. It'll do those 3 things, and then it'll say, go back to A. So it'll go to A and just keep repeating that process until he hits the part, which is kind of cool that they've, you know, thought that all through here. So this has a check direction. Depending on which direction Bob is facing, execute appropriate sequence. So we're going to move forward once, and then we want to put this here. So, okay, so at this point, we actually have to figure out which way he should be facing. So, wow, so you actually have to program all of this. Okay, so if he's facing, I'm assuming they're going by this directional here. So, if he's there, we want him to rotate that way and move forward. And how do I move down to the next set? There we go. Okay. Now, if we're here, we need him. So this, as you can see, can take a lot of planning. Let's see, if we're face back, then we need to just rotate twice in the same direction. Oh, I'm hitting move forward, but it should actually be a jump, I think. We'll change that in a second here. And if we're already moving forward, this should just be a jump. Alright, so we need to go up here and switch these to jumps. Yeah, there we go. Delete that. So this seems like the kind of game that I feel like would be better played on, like, Steam, you know, with a mouse, so that way you can point and click and move your stuff and delete things much quicker. I feel like with the controller, it works fine, but it just takes so long to kind of, like, plan out what you're doing, you know? I don't think we really need to do anything else, right? I think we could play it like that. Oh, I see. So the shorter thing I could have done was, like, in this square here, I would have put a jump, and then I could have avoided putting jumps in all of those. I see. But it looks like it should work this way, too, so let's see what happens. There we go. We planned it out. We did well. Okay, so I said that there were going to be some pros and cons with this game. Or rather, some cons, I should say. That the pros we already talked about. I think it's a fun little game. I think it's well done. But the optimization of this game is really strange. I believe this game is locked at a straight-up 30 FPS on the Switch, and I don't understand why that is. It might be because the whole game board is available at once. I feel like they are, you know, sort of asking for it by having a board game that, or a game board rather, that is this long, and then they don't keep the fog of war effect on all of it. Like, I feel like they should turn it back on for the places you've been, and then when you go to, like, you know, when you go to venture back and kind of see where things were, you know, maybe the fog could, like, temporarily disappear so you could see where you've been. Also, I just noticed, this is really distracting me. I was just talking to you guys about this, but the this tree right here in the center is not actually connected to anything, and the other tree there in the middle, I don't think is actually on the ground there. Oh well. Those trees connect. These two trees are just kind of floating on nothing. Alright, anyway, enough picking on. Let's go ahead, let's jump here, then we gotta put one of these on. Okay, so if it's facing that way, we'll try the other way here where you jump afterwards. If we're facing back, then we need 2 of those, and if we're facing forward, doesn't matter. So here we're gonna want to jump. Now, for instance here, let's try this out. If you actually fail and you didn't do the right thing when you were supposed to, what's nice is it doesn't completely erase what you built. It'll just let you modify it. So here, this thing spins. Boom, there he goes. And there we go. We're incorrect on that one because he should not have moved forward. However, as you can see here, it just puts you right back, which I think is really nice. The other thing that I like too is that, like, every time you hit a piece, that is considered a checkpoint. I have quit the game out before and come back and picked up from where I left off, right where I got the last piece. So this game is very forgiving on the checkpointing. The way the game plays and the checkpointing and stuff like that makes a lot of the optimization issues with the game a lot more forgivable. It's not like this game hitches up or anything like that, but like when you're rotating the camera, you guys may not be able to see it in the video as much as I'm seeing it, but when it's right up in your face on a bigger screen like I'm watching right now, it like really feels like it's running at a real slow pace, and it just does not look great. On video, I think it looks a lot better. The character also has this like real weird, like, you know, aliased look to him, where like he's got jagged edges all around him, and again, you may not be able to see that in the video as well the way it's recording, but in game it just looks real rough. It looks really, really rough, and it's weird because it looks like he's using sort of a different, like, drawn look than the rest of the environment. I don't know why that is, but anyway, I feel like I'm talking a lot about this optimization and character stuff, but the game itself is pretty fun. I just think it comes with the caveat of, like, if, you know, you are not into spending a lot of time on one turn, because this could be attributed to, say, like, you know, very similar to, like, a turn-based strategy game, where you have to plan out your move accordingly and do it, you know, and pull it off. And every part you could consider a turn that might take you a long time to figure out. So that there is something to keep in mind there, if this is not that type of game for you, you know. Rotate that way, and then this one should rotate the other way. All right, let's give that a shot here. But anybody who's interested in programming or robots or anything of the like, I feel like this is a game that you're going to be pretty impressed with. It is available on other consoles, I believe. I think it came out on PS4 as well. So if you want to try it, it may even run better on that. But I also, one other thing too is I was playing this portably for a small bit, and the text that appears in the bottom middle is so small. There's no, there's no like you know. They didn't put any kind of fix or variable in there for the game to realize it's running in portable mode. And that little box shows up, it looks like this, and you can barely read it. But right now he's asking, why are there so many trees here? It's called a forest, Bob. I think forest is actually spelled with one R. One R for forest, just pointing that out. Okay, so we have a jump to do here. We are really driving home the fact that we are playing with these multiple squares here. So if we do that, we're gonna rotate there, we're gonna rotate there. Here we just need 2 rotations, and then that could just be forward. So we'll move over here, do another forward, and then we gotta do it all over again. I wish there was a way to actually like just copy paste that whole thing I just made, because I'm gonna be making the exact same thing again. Let's see here. There. So yeah, I apologize, guys. I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on this too much, because I do think that this is a cute little game. I really do. But I do think that it is for a very specific person, and I feel like for a game as simple as this, there's no reason for it to be optimized the way that it is. That always bothers me on the Switch when games come out and oh, the whole thing rotates. Okay, I was not expecting that. Let me play that again. Will it always be in a random spot? Oh no, it's okay. It's been there the past 2 times. There's no way I could have prepared for that. I want to see one more time if it's... Okay, it is always the same spot. Okay. Okay, so we actually don't need any of this. So if that... Okay, so he will actually be... We actually don't need any of those. Okay, so he'll jump. So he'll be facing the wrong way. So we need to rotate once, or twice rather. Move forward, rotate there, and move forward. And that should be all we got to do here. See, look at that. I did it 3 times in a row. It went to the exact same place every time. And then this time it was like, no, it's randomizing. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know why that's the case, but that is infuriating. Okay. Stupid. Okay, so this is definitely like a little puzzle to figure out here, because if he's facing that way, then that has spun... I got to think about this and where he's facing when. Okay, so on the first turn, he'll be facing here, and if he's facing here, then he needs to rotate that way and jump. Yes. That's right. Okay, and then if it goes up to the other side, he'll be facing back. So he needs to rotate twice, go forward, rotate once, go forward. I think is right. So this is the aspect of the game I do like. I do like this whole like figuring out in your mind where he's going to be and what he needs to do here, right? I think that aspect of it is very, very smart and well put together, you know? Let's see, if we did that, we move forward once, we jump, we rotate once, and then move forward. That should take care of that one. So the only time that he'll be facing that way is when he's on that side. Okay, so if he's on that side, And this might be a little bit redundant for some people watching too, because it's like, you know, you got to plan out 4 different moves just in case whatever happens. But it's like, man, I wish I was just planning out the one move, you know what I mean? But that's how this game works. It gets complicated like that. So if he is facing that way, then that means he's on this side. So we need to rotate once, jump, rotate that way, and move forward twice. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Oh, okay, so went with that one, we worked out. So the funny thing is, though, is that if your 3 other turns are actually incorrect, you'll never know because the thing chose to go whichever way, and maybe that one ended up being the right one that you chose to do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there you go, guys. That's a short look at this game. I think you kind of get what's going on here, and I feel like you'll understand whether this game is for you or not. It feels like the game is only going to get more and more complex as you go here. Look, we actually have to plan out several different moves for this thing here. Again, this is another situation where we had the copy and paste for that same move here. But again, I know we were talking about like optimization stuff for this game and everything like that. Pretty sure I just saw a bounding box around the main character. It was like a ghosted bounding box that was rotating around him. What was that? I must be seeing things. I don't know. But yeah, there's some little issues with this game. And I really don't mind like the road. There it is. Look, you see the box in front of him? Rewind that and see if you guys can see it. Because the only thing I see popping on screen is like there's little fog or smoke things popping up on screen. There's little rays of light. But you can actually see like a bounding box showing up like right in front of him for whatever reason. There it is again. And now it's like behind him. Look at that. What is that? So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about with this game. It's stuff like that. It's the text box being way too small in portable mode to be able to read. Even in this mode, that box should be like this big. Like it needs to be huge on screen so you can read it, you know? But the things it does well, you know, the game itself is fun. I think the story is cute. I like that this, look, they're plain as sight, red bounding box thing. I don't know what's going on with that thing, but it's really freaking me out. I think the story is cute. You know, little robot trying to get his ship, you know, built again to get off this little area. In the beginning, though, we don't really know why he's here. So, you know, a little bit more explaining as to why that is would be nice. Circus music in the background. Not sure what's going on with that. It's a bit strange, I think. But yeah, the optimization stuff is what gets me here. Really don't mind the low poly look, but man, or even the low texture look. There's no reason it should be, you know, running this weird or have these issues. Like, I know it's a budget title, but like a bounding box on like some fog that shows up for whatever reason. I don't know why. Trees that don't connect to the floor like that, those there, you know, just little things like that really get to me in games nowadays. I see them immediately, you know. But for $5, you could definitely do a lot worse, and you could, you know, definitely find way worse games for $5. So if this looks cool to you, oh, by the way, one of the other things I didn't talk about before we wrap up here, I feel like we're delaying the wrapping here. There's a leaderboard, of which I don't understand at all. I have no idea what the leaderboard actually means. It's in there, and every now and then my name will show up, but there's random numbers on there that have people's names, and then it'll like associate right now. You can't see it, but above my webcam it says DG16. Below it there's another guy that has 32 and another guy who's 37. But I don't know what that means. Does that mean this is how many moves it took them to get there? Is that what it's about? I have no idea. I don't know. It doesn't explain these things. But anyway, guys. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun game. I'm kind of like this with it just because of the optimization and other things that aren't really explained. I don't know what's going on with those. But if you like a game where you're just like programming a robot to do different things, I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, belaboring the point, guys, thank you for watching. And of course, I'll see you all in the next Quicksave Review. See you then.